Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about how Donald Trump has managed to cause a massive meltdown from both the establishment and the far left by working at McDonald's. With many mainstream news media outlets pretending that it's somehow a big revelation that Trump working at McDonald's was a staged event. Because apparently nobody has ever told the professionals who work at these mainstream news media outlets what a photo op is, and how prevalent they are during election cycles. Now obviously, the journalists working for these mainstream news media outlets aren't actually that stupid, but merely pretending to be that stupid. Nobody really tends to care about photo ops being staged because, well, that's par for the course. It only ever ends up being newsworthy when these photo ops end up going wrong. At least that is the standard for everyone else. But when Donald Trump dares to work at McDonald's, that is somehow a completely different story and is a big deal that has to be covered, and absolutely everyone has to know that this photo op, which by definition is a staged event, is in fact a staged event. So like I said, these mainstream journalists aren't actually that stupid, but they are certainly pretending to be that stupid. I, however, have absolutely zero qualms about taking them up on their little position of pretending to be morons, and following it up by saying that since they don't know what a photo op is, clearly they are so utterly incompetent that they don't deserve to be journalists in the first place. However, I am starting to go off on a bit of a tangent, so let's get back to the topic at hand. Of course, Trump did this specifically to cast doubt on Kamala Harris's claims that she previously worked at McDonald's. And he has now begun boasting not only that McDonald's does not have records of her employment with them, but also that he has provably worked more at McDonald's than Kamala Harris has. This itself has led to even more cope from mainstream news media outlets, trying to argue that it was a leap in logic to claim that because McDonald's had no records of Kamala Harris's previous employment, that it is somehow a massive leap of logic to go from that to saying that there is no evidence that Kamala Harris worked at McDonald's. Or to put it in more layman's terms, Kamala Harris lied about working at McDonald's. One thing that is worth noting is that journalists don't typically apply this sort of standard outside of Donald Trump making that argument. The claim there is no records to show that a person worked at X is typically presented within mainstream news media as proof that they never worked at X, that they are in fact lying about working at X. Case in point, when people get arrested for impersonating cops or government agents, the line you'll typically see in the news articles about that is that X government agency or X police department stated that they have no records that that person ever worked there. But again, because Donald Trump is the one making the argument, that somehow means that the fact that McDonald's has no records of Kamala Harris having ever actually worked there, well, that's not sufficient proof. Not anymore, because it's Donald Trump that's pointing it out. And while you're at it, kindly also ignore the fact that when Kamala Harris claims to have been working at a McDonald's in Alameda, California, she was at the time attending university in Washington, D.C., on the other side of the country. Overall, I do have to say that Trump's little stunt here has been very effective at causing both mainstream media outlets as well as the usual activists from the woke far left to flip out yet again. Credit where credit is due, this was a creative little plan on the part of Trump. But like I said, photo ops are a dime a dozen. What makes this one stand out uniquely is that instead of it being newsworthy because it went wrong, it's newsworthy because of just how well it has worked. People are starting to dig into and question Kamala Harris's past as to whether or not she even worked at McDonald's specifically because of this stunt. The mainstream news media outlets are now actively starting to talk about Kamala Harris's past rather than choose to willfully ignore it, because Trump has played his hand in such a way that the media trying to just memory hole Kamala Harris's comments is only going to serve as more evidence of how utterly biased they are in trying to get her to win. Were it not for the complete freak out from mainstream news media over this little photo op, I would not be covering this story. But since they have reacted in such a way, it is a good opportunity to point and laugh at them yet again. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.